Hello guys, welcome to East Coding. In this video, we are going to see the Leetcode problem number 274. Guess number higher or lower. Let's get into the problem. So the problem statement is we are playing the guess game. The game is as follows. I pick a number from 1 to n. You have to guess which number I picked. Every time you guess wrong, I will tell you whether the number I picked is higher or lower than your guess. You can call a predefined API int guess of a number which is passed to the function guess, which returns three possible results. Minus 1 if your guess is higher than the number I picked. 1 if the guess is lower than the number I picked. 0 if your guess is equal to the number I picked. So we need to return the number that I picked. So yeah, we'll get on to the problem definition. So let's use the paint. So first step for solving any problem is the defining problem. So we are going to play a chess game. So he's picking a number from 1 to n. So we need to find the number which he has picked. So let's call him as John. So John is picking a number from 1 to n. So we need to guess the number which John picked. So every time if your guess is wrong, he'll tell you whether the number John picked is higher or lower than your guess. So minus 1, 1 and 0 will be returned from the guess function. So you see, so input is nothing but just API calls to guess. Yeah, guess. Sorry, the input is n and output should be the number picked by John. Which ranges from 1 to n. So how can we find the number? So the first approach, before moving approach, is there any other corner cases or problem definition to be made? So there is another function called guess, which is having number as parameter. So it will return minus 1 if n is greater than John, the number which is picked by John. So let's say picked number or target number. So we verify that if your guess is higher than the current number John picked, we need to return minus 1. The function will return minus 1. If it is plus 1, the number which you have picked is less than picked number. Zero if number equal to the picked number. So these are the three possibilities that the guess function would return us. So how we are going to find this? So we can clearly see that the number lies in the range between 1 to n, right? So is there any other problem definition? So what is the value of n? So n is going to be from ranging from 1 to max value of integer. So brute force, so let's move on to approach. So the brute force approach that comes to everyone's mind is to iterate over complete values from 1 to n. So which would return in time complexity of So yeah, we write it over each number from 1 to n, and for each number we are going to call the guess function. So if guess is equal to 0, we will return the value at which 0 has occurred, or else we'll continue. So time it takes to run this algorithm is time complexity is big O of n, and the space complexity is big O of 1. So this is the approach that comes to experiment. So can we improvise this approach? The answer is yes. So how can we do it? So the pattern we can find is the given input array. So input array or simulated input array is going to be a sorted array. So in case of sorted array, and we have hints like sorted array, and so there is no array, but there is the range. So we will call this as sorted range. Sorted range or range, anything is fine. So we have a range, and we are going to move to left or right based on value. So you can clearly see that we can find the pattern of binary search involved here. So we can use the binary search approach to solve this problem. So how can we use the binary search approach here? So initially we have a number. So let's say n as 5, and we'll say picked number as 2. So let's say pick number as 1. So what happens in this case? So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So left value will have 1 and right value will have 5. So we'll find the mid value each time. Mid will be left plus right by 2, which is 3. So we'll check whether the mid, we'll call the guess function. So guess of 3, which is mid. So why we are using the guess? So we need to skip some part of the array. So how are we going to skip? So we'll just use the function guess. If it is equal to 0, we'll return mid value, or else if it is, so in this case the mid value is greater than the picked value, so the guess function will return us -1. So in this case we can clearly see that the answer does not lies in the range starting from 3 to right side. So answer does not lie here. So what we'll do is we'll just skip this and move our pointer to here. So initially we have so pointers at 1 and 5, but after finding mid we can clearly see that the value is higher. So we'll skip every other values over the right, and we'll decrement the pointer to 2. So right value will become mid -1, which is 2. So in this case after this we'll find the mid value. So newly formed mid value is 1. So we'll call the guess function. So guess of 1 will be 0. So we'll be returning the mid value. So what happens if the guess value is say 2? So we'll the approach is simple. Like first step of our binary search is to assign left and right. So we'll find the mid. This is the first step. Call the function guess. Call the guess function and skip or return answer based on result from guess function. Result of guess function. So these are the three steps we are going to follow in this approach. So we'll check with the sample test case. So let's say n is equal to 10 and pick is 6. So yeah, ns tenors is PQC. So in this case we have numbers in the range. So we are not going to create an array, but we are going to simulate an array within our within programming. So this is the range. So initially left and right will be at both ends, right? So the first step of our approach is nothing but to find the mid, right? So initially the mid value will be 1 plus 10 by 2, which is 5. So we'll call the second step is call the guess function. So we'll call the guess of mid value. So when we see the guess of 5, the API will return yeah, it will return 1 since the number is lesser than the big number. So how can we skip this? In this, when we get 1, we can clearly see that the current number and the numbers in the range from till the left end are less than the big number. So what we'll do is just skip those numbers. So how can we skip this? We'll just move the left pointer to mid plus 1. So left will be here. So third step is skip skip part of skip a part of array. So this is the third part. This is based on result from guess. So these are the third step. So we have done the third step. So next we'll continue the iteration. So left is 6 and right is 10. So mid value will be 6 plus 10 by 2, which is 8. So this is the mid value. 8 is here. So we'll check. We'll call the guess function. So guess of 8. So we'll call guess of 8. So this function will return -1 since big number is 6 and the number chosen is 8. So we can clearly see that the number does not lies on or after the middle value. So we need to skip this and decrement the right pointer. So right will be changed to 7. Now mid value will be 6 plus 7 by 2, which is 6. So we'll call the guess function. Guess of 6 will return 0. So finally we'll return the answer, that is 6. So this is the approach we are going to use for this problem. So let's dive on to coding section. So initially left will be 1 and right will be n. So while L is less than or equal to n, initially the first step is step 1. Find mid. So mid value is nothing but L plus or by 2. So we'll find the guess value. Guess is equal to guess of mid. So if guess value is equal to 0, we'll return mid. If guess value is equal to -1, so in this case you can clearly see that this is the second step, right? Or the guess. So the third step is going to change the skip the part of array based on guess function. So step 2 is call guess function. So if value of guess is -1, it indicates that the number we have picked is greater. So we'll reduce the right pointer to mid -1, or else we'll increment the left pointer to +1. So in this case the answer this is else part will be executed when the guess is 1. So when will be the guess value equal to 1? when number we have picked, that is mid is less than the picked number. So in the case we'll just increment L to mid plus 1. So finally we'll return minus 1. So in this case never happens because there is a number that is picked. So there is no way of reaching this condition. So let's check this up. Let's submit it up. Time limited. So yeah, the time limited exceeded for the case. So what is the problem here? So the problem here is the finding of the mid value. So the addition of this value exceeds the integer max value. So as a result of this, we'll get a invalid mid value. So we'll get the wrong mid value. So in order to ignore this, we have many ways to solve this issue. So for it, we can use long value, or else next is we can have L plus r minus L by 2. So in this case, we can have mid as integer value. So we'll check this. It's working fine. So let's submit it up. Yeah, accepted. And the time complexity of this approach big of log n, and space complexity is big of 1, and approach for the problem is binary search. So yeah guys, actually I have missed out this point. So this is a very valuable point to be taken care of. So I have forgotten to check this condition. So we should not miss the cases like this. So yeah, this is the great learning. So that's all guys. That's all about this video. Thanks for watching this. Have a great time. Happy coding.